Hello everyone, it's me LBT and welcome back to my channel once again, and this time things are going to get a lot better around here. So now that we got those god-awful movies as I mentioned out of the way, let's move on to something good. And this time we're going to do not only a top 10 list, but LBT's top 10 best Disney movies. And obviously, these are the movies that I absolutely enjoy. As a kid, as a teenager, as an adult, and still to this day, I still enjoy these movies that are a big part of my childhood. Even the ones that can interest me. So no Pixar movies, no Marvel movies, just Disney movies. Even Disney Channel movies and directed video stuff are a lot on this list. Even the sequels as well. So I may not be a fan of Disney nearly as much, but I'll admit, some of their movies could be pretty cool in my opinion, and some of them could be very interesting, and the theme park attractions could also interest me as well. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about the best movies I enjoy, also known as the top 10 best Disney movies of all time, in my opinion. So before we get into the real top 10, let's get into the honorable mentions of the movies that I absolutely enjoy as a kid and still to this day. Number 1, Atlantis: The Lost Empire. This was a pretty underrated film, and I have no other choice but to put these movies there. Atlantis: The Lost Empire, Brother Bear, which is emotional and very heartwarming. Ralph Breaks the Internet, one of the most underrated sequels. For that, screw the haters. I like Ralph Breaks the Internet, pretty good. And Frozen. No, not that god-awful embarrassment, which is Frozen 2. The first Frozen, which is miles better and miles enjoyable than the sequel. Fantasia 2000, which is the 5th on my honorable mentions. And last but not least is Enchanted. Man, I recently watched this and it was pretty funny and very hilarious. Also, it has really good characters that I cared for, but hey, it's worth a shot. Now that we got those honorable mentions of the Disney movies I enjoy, let's get into the real top 10. Starting with number 10. Coming at number 10 is Lady and the Tramp, the 2019 Disney live-action remake.
Not bad.
And I know what you're thinking, like, oh, LBT, this is a bad movie. You can't like it. Screw you, da. Like, come on, guys. It's my opinion. So, yeah, if you don't like the movie, that's fine. But I definitely enjoyed the Lady and the Tramp remake. And I hate to say this, but I actually enjoyed this more than the original because it was a bit longer and they added character development and all that stuff. The CGI dogs look brilliant. They look breathtaking, and yeah, the characters are likable. But the only problem I have is the villain. Yeah, the villain is like this dog capturer and who wants to capture dogs for his courage and all that stuff, but really, yeah. But other than that, is there anything good? Yeah, the CGI looks breathtaking on these dogs, and the story is very detailed, very constructive, and well executed. So, Lady and the Tramp 2019 belongs in my number 10 spot, and it definitely deserves it. And can't wait to watch this movie again on the Disney Plus. I can't wait. Coming at number 9 is Jungle Book 2016. This is the Disney live-action remake made by Jon Favreau, who also did such works such as Lion King and Prehistoric Planet, which is coming soon on Apple TV. Can't wait to see Prehistoric Planet. But moving back to Jungle Book 2016, I mean, this is a very good live-action remake that is a follow-up to the classic Jungle Book movie, which I didn't care about nearly as much, but I only care about the remake. And yeah, the voice acting is pretty good. The story is well structured, and the characters are very likable, like Baloo, the Black Panther character, I don't know what his name is, and Shere Kong. Shere Kong is one of the most threatening villains I've ever seen in a Disney movie like this. He's more intimidating. I'd rather put him on point with One Eye and Rudy as one of my favorite animal villains. I mean, he's very intimidating, and the songs are very enjoyable and very catchy, and the soundtrack looks very brilliant, really brilliant. And Jon Favreau, you did an awesome job with Jungle Book 2016. And as for Prehistoric Planet, Can't wait to see it. You are a very, very good experimental film director. So good job on that. Same thing with Lion King 2019, but hey, it's worth a shot. Coming at number 8 is an extremely goofy movie. This is the 2000 Disney sequel to the original Goofy movie, and let me just say, I had a blast with Extremely Goofy movie. There's everything good with this movie. The story is very gold. The characters are very likable, and the jokes and humor actually fit well with this movie. And yeah, most of the characters are very likable, like Max, Goofy, and his love interest, which is that Liberian lady, and the villain, which is basically those college guys. And I don't care about the villains nearly as much, which doesn't really matter, but hey, it's worth a shot. I mean, most of the movie is fun. Even the soundtrack is fun. And this movie has really cool scenes. Cool skateboard scenes, cool college scenes, and all that type of stuff. I mean, the whole movie makes me want to go to college and do some filmings and all that stuff so I could be this film director. Hey, it's worth a shot. And so that's why Extremely Goofy movie belongs in my number 8 spot. Coming at number 7 is Disney's Tarzan, the 1999 Disney movie long before Dinosaur, which I'll get into that later, but Tarzan is a massive classic. I mean, yeah, the way Tarzan was raised by a family of gorillas, which is a follow-up to, like, Dinosaur, which followed that formula, but we'll get to that, but hey. But as for Tarzan, the story is very, very well structured. The characters are very likable, like Tarzan, Porter, the gorilla family, and even Jane was an impressive love interest, and Sabor was a very intimidating villain. But the only problem is that we don't see Sabor nearly as much. We only saw him in half of the movie, and then she gets killed off by Tarzan, and that's it. And yeah, other than that, the whole movie is very likable. And one more thing I have to mention about the movie is Clayton as the villain, and I really don't like Clayton. He's just like a bland-looking villain that wants gorillas for himself, which kind of reminds me of Eli Mills from Jurassic World Fallen Kingdom, where he wants to sell dinosaurs, nothing for himself. And yeah, Clayton here, he's not even that good of a villain, but he's just like a plot twist or something like that. But other than that, the movie's fun, and it's one of my favorites growing up. Coming at number 6 is Disney's Wreck-It Ralph, the 2012 computer animated film from the Walt Disney Studios. Although I like Ralph Breaks the Internet, but it's nowhere near as good as the original Wreck-It Ralph, which I'll get into that soon enough. But, I mean, 2012 was a very good year. Movies like The Avengers, Speckles the Tarbosaurus, and Brave, which those are good movies from 2012 at the time. But Wreck-It Ralph takes the number 6 spot on my best Disney movies. And yeah, the story is well structured, and video game characters like Ralph and Vanellope and all these other characters are very likable. Best aspect of the movies has to be the Sugar Rush scene, where Vanellope learns how to race, and the Sugar Rush racers look as adorable. They look as cute as Vanellope, especially those main ones that we see everywhere. I mean, they look adorable, they look colorful, and they look really cute in my opinion. I really want to go there and meet these kids and see how adorable they are. Unlike this embarrassment, which is Prince and the Frog, and we don't talk about that piece of garbage. But other than that, the movie is very, very, very likable and very incredible to look at. And not to mention the cybugs, where Ralph and the others fight the cybugs. They look intimidating. They look really menacing, and yikes. Man, they look really terrifying. Wreck-It Ralph is the number 6 best Disney movie here. Coming at number 5 is Disney's Zootopia, the 2016 Disney movie, which I had a blast with. Yeah, Zootopia here is slightly overrated for sure. I'm not saying that it's a bad movie by standard, but it's kind of on the fence here. But let's not talk about that here. Let's talk about the actual movie itself. So Zootopia is about this bunny rabbit named Judy Hopps, who wants to take control of Zootopia, and then something bad happens when predators go on savageness, and that's just about it. And I have nothing else to say. The movie is really, really well structured here. And finally, this is the movie that I wanted that features animals for a very long time, ever since Dinosaur and The Lion King, which we'll get to those. But Zootopia is a very, very emotional, impressive looking movie. Not as emotional as the movies as I mentioned, but Yeah, the story is well structured. The characters are very likable, like Nick Wilde, Chief Bogo's has got to be my favorite characters, and yeah, especially Nick Wilde. I mean, he is so comedic and very likable. Yeah, the only parts that I don't like about the movie would be the villain and the main protagonist, like Judy Hopps, and she's not even that good of a protagonist in my opinion. The movie would have been better if Nick Wall was actually the protagonist, other than Judy Hopps. I find Judy Hopps very bland and not all that enjoyable as a protagonist. But the villain here, not that good either. But I'll admit that she did something that is like very reckless, making predators endangerment, which you shouldn't do that here. But is there anything else to say about the movie? The movie is enjoyable, and yeah, I highly recommend Zootopia. Coming at number 4 is Big Hero 6, the 2014 Disney animated film, a year after Frozen came out, and Big Hero 6. I had a fun time with Big Hero 6. It's basically like Disney's concept version of the Avengers and Power Rangers. Mix them all together, and then you get Big Hero 6. I mean, the story is well structured. The characters are very likable, like Baymax, Hero, and all these other characters. And even the brother, which was kind of a sad looking character, which dies by the fire, and I actually felt that emotional that way. Yeah, the story is well structured, and the villain is not even that great. I didn't like it when he turned into a plot twist villain and all that stuff, and it's not even that great here. But yeah, the soundtrack is very good, and the movie has a lot of cool action scenes with fighting scenes and chasing scenes and all those other stuff. The whole movie is very enjoyable, and it has likable characters, it has likable moments, and the movie is like not even that long, and it has a lot of pacing, and the pacing is well structured, and yeah, the whole movie is so structured. So if you have not seen Big Hero 6, I highly recommend the movie. See it at your own time. Coming at number 3 is Meet the Robinsons, the 2007 computer animated film right after those disaster-looking movies like The Wild and Chicken Little. And we don't talk about those movies here, so get those movies out of the way and replace it with Meet the Robinsons. I mean, yeah, this is the good Disney movie in the post-Disney Renaissance, long after Dinosaur, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, the story is well structured. It's about Lewis, who is learning how to be an inventor, and then goes there this time machine with Will Robinson. It looks really adorable, and it looks very colorful. Meet the Robinsons here should be an example about moving forward. I heard a lot of people rank this at their top 10 most underrated Disney movies, along with Dinosaur, and I pretty much agree with these people, especially with Meet the Robinsons being the most underrated ones. That's why I put Meet the Robinson at my top 10 favorite Disney movies, which is on my number 3 spot. And Meet the Robinsons is well structured. The characters are very likable. The animation looks breathtaking, very breathtaking, ever since Dinosaur. And not to mention, one of my favorite characters throughout the movie has to be the Tyrannosaurus named Tiny. I mean, he's a very, very funny character. I like dinosaurs, and I am so glad that they added Tyrannosaurus in this movie. I am so glad, because a movie like this needs more dinosaurs. Unlike the modern day crappy, horrible Disney movies, which I don't want to talk about. But here, I like how they make him an actual comical character ever since Rex from Toy Story. And the villain is very funny and laughable, like the bowler hat guy who wants to take over Robinson Industries. And his story is pretty sad and really emotional. And his backstory was pretty tragic of how the way he is. And yeah, Lewis is likable, Wilbur Robinson is likable, and all these other characters are very likable. Even my favorite characters, as I mentioned. But hey, so if you haven't not seen Meet the Robinsons, give the movie a watch and keep moving forward. That's what the movie's all about. Keep moving forward. Coming at number 2 is Disney's The Lion King. Yes, The Lion King. One of my most nostalgic childhood movies I have ever seen in my entire life, The Lion King. And man, this movie is great, and it's one of my favorites growing up, alongside with other movies that I recently watched and to this day. And I love The Lion King. It is literally one of my second favorite Disney animated films of all time. I mean, this movie was a classic. This movie came out the year after Jurassic Park, which is a very good movie. This and Jurassic Park are best looking movies in the 19th centuries. The Lion King was a massive classic. The story is very well structured. The characters are very likable. The animation looks really breathtaking, especially with these animals and the backgrounds. They look really detailed. Everything in this movie looks very detailed, and it's hand-drawn Disney movies, and it's hands down one of the best Disney movies. And I heard a lot of people say that this is one of their best ones, and I totally agree. Sure, some people may not like the movie, but that's okay. It's worth a shot. And not to mention, one of my favorite characters in The Lion King would have to be Simba, both young Simba and adult Simba. And not to mention with Zazu and Timon and Pumbaa, which are pretty funny characters. And my favorite Disney villain would have to be Scar, and he looks intimidating. He looks threatening and menacing, and a villain that wants to take over Pride Lands all for himself. And man, such a selfish prick that he is. But here, he looks menacing. A very menacing villain, in my opinion. Simba here is a light-hearted protagonist, and Nala is a great love interest, and Timon and Pumbaa are very comical aspects, but hey, it's worth a shot. And if you've not seen The Lion King here, you all should probably know about it. You all know about it. It's very enjoyable. Very, very enjoyable. And get ready for my #1 best Disney movie of all time. And this is the movie that I liked as a kid. The movie I enjoy as a child. And as a kid, I love it. But as an adult, I still enjoy it. And this movie was a big part of my childhood. And I definitely enjoyed it. So much. And get ready, as you're all going to be very exciting. The #1 best Disney movie of all time is no other than Dinosaur from 2000. I love this movie. I absolutely enjoyed it. This is, without a doubt, one of the best things I have ever seen in my entire life. One of the absolute best Disney movies I've ever seen in my entire life, and easily one of my favorite dinosaur movies growing up. And my lord, this movie holds up, and it holds a candle, and I absolutely love this movie. It is without a doubt one of my favorite dinosaur movies of all time, and the absolute best Disney movies of all time. The story is well structured. The characters are very likable. The CGI looks really breathtaking. It looks real, and I just wanted to go there and touch these characters to see how beautiful they are. The characters are very likable, like Aladar, who is a light-hearted protagonist, who is a nice character. Yeah, the Lemur family are very likable here. And not to mention, the comical character like Zinni, who likes to crack up jokes, which I'll admit some of the jokes could be a bit cringy at times, but he's very likable. And not to mention the elder dinosaurs, who are very, very, very enjoyable. Very enjoyable and very likable in my opinion. Like Ema, a lighthearted Styracosaurus, Baleen, a sad Brachiosaur, who is the last of her kind, and Earl, who is basically a typical dog-like dino character, which doesn't speak nearly as much. And the other characters are very likable, like Crone, Nira, and Bruton. Those other dinosaur characters who are this typical leader of the herd, especially Crone, who is menacing as a villain and not that menacing enough. But I'll admit, but some points that he did here was pretty brutal and very, very intimidating. And the real villains in this movie would have to be the menacing dinosaurs, also known as the Carnotaurs. These guys cause nothing but trouble. They are the best looking villains I have ever seen in a Disney movie, and the best dinosaur villains I have ever seen in my entire life. He's even more menacing, like Sharptooth, One Eye, and Rudy. I mean, these characters are just threatening villains. All they want is to find things for themselves and conquer everything that they see, everything that they kill. They know all, see all, and eat all. And all that type of stuff. And not to mention that the soundtrack by James Newton Howard was very breathtaking and very, very good. Breathtaking soundtrack. And oh my lord, I absolutely love the soundtrack in this movie. I love the animation in this movie. I love the characters, and I love the story itself. The basically like Prince of Egypt and turning into a dinosaur movie, which is kind of a smart idea. But hey, it's worth a shot. And for those who have not seen Dinosaur, I highly, highly recommend watching this movie, because this is without a doubt one of the best things I've ever seen in my entire life. The best dinosaur movies, the best Disney movies, and the best things I've ever seen in my entire life. No wonder the Speckles movies decided to take inspirations from Dinosaur to prove how good that movie was, and I'm so happy about it. So, if you've not seen Dinosaur, I highly recommend it. Watch the movie for yourself to see how enjoyable it is. This movie is very, very, very beautiful and very heartwarming. And yeah, if you've not seen the movie, I highly recommend it. See how good it is. Not to mention it has different dinosaurs, different species, and all these other creatures that we've not seen in any dinosaur media before, rather than the ones that we see everywhere. So, if you've not seen it, give the movie a watch. You'll be able to enjoy it. Hopefully, we'll get more dinosaur movies for Disney. And as I always in my always previous catchphrase, so take that, Disney, because dinosaurs kick ass big time. Yeah, dinosaurs rule. They rule, and they're awesome. And hopefully, Disney will listen to most dinosaur fans and make their dinosaurs be part of the Disney canon. And we need more things that have to do with dinosaurs and all the other prehistoric creatures around in Disney. So, Disney, if you're watching this, please make more dinosaur media, like movies, TV, and documentary that features dinosaurs, because we need more of that. We need more of that in the near future. Hopefully, more dinosaur movies will come for Disney and in the near future. So that's why Dinosaur, in my opinion, is the absolute best Disney movie I have ever seen in my entire life. I would definitely stick up with this movie and rewatch the movie over and over again until the day I die. Literally. Same thing goes for the other Disney movies, as I mentioned. And I hope you guys enjoy this video of my top 10 favorite Disney movies of all time, and also known as the top 10 best Disney movies of all time. And I hope you guys enjoy this video, and please sure like and subscribe, and more videos will come in the near future. And I think I might do some reaction videos, just in case. But hey, it's worth a shot. And yeah, if you guys enjoy this, please sure like and subscribe, and more videos will come in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And LBT here. See you guys next time, and have a great day.
Let's go.